Hello, this is Keith. I'm with EveningShadowsTarot.com. If you'd like to visit my website, go below this video and you'll see a link to it. Click on it, and I do private readings, and I record them and then send them to you. If you'd be interested, you can purchase one or as many as you like, but paying through PayPal. And my guides, I said I've been waking up at 3 in the morning and staying awake a couple of hours and visiting with my guides from the other side. I'm part Choctaw Indian, and my grandmother was Choctaw Indian, and so my guides are Indian, most of them. My father is one of my guides, and he's English, so there is a combination there. If you'd like to have a reading, go ahead and visit there. I'm new at this, and so I'm just learning as I go along, and I hope to get better as I go. My idea is to help you save money, do things to help people that have less. It's designed not to judge anyone, but to help all of us. Times are getting tight, and I think this is only the beginning. I think it's going to get much worse. Inflation is going to go up, groceries is going to go up, housing, utilities, insurance, taxes. I'm talking about on your house, property taxes. It's all going to continue to go up, and we're going to all need help, and we're going to have to get past this of certain people having everything and other people not having anything. We're all going to have to work together. If we have something, we may have to share it to help other people, and let's face it, that's what it's all about. Something that I'm going to talk about now, and I know it is a touchy subject, but it's helping the homeless. And folks, we haven't seen anything yet on this homeless. I watch YouTube and I feel so sorry for those people living in tents and how little they have. And there's not much chance of them getting out of that without some help. And I don't mean necessarily government help. I mean, as private citizens, we're going to have to help. The comeback that I get from a few people is that, well, you wouldn't want to help them. They're all on dope, and that's just not right. I have watched interviews, and some of the people, well, one of them men was a banker, head of a bank, and he lost everything. Another one was a lawyer, and he lost everything. So not everybody is on dope, and I know that they probably are taking something stimulant or something to try to get through this, and I can understand their predicament. I don't agree that you should take drugs, but I understand. My goodness, what if you took your house away, your car away, and you're living in a tent or maybe a tarp put up against a fence and no heat, it's raining outside, and you come in and try to get warm and you don't have any heat in your tent, and when you go back out you put on wet shoes and you don't have any socks. Think about this, folks. This is rough. So what I'm going to do is touch on this subject, and I'm not doing this to hurt anybody, and you don't have to agree with me on this, but I hope it's food for thought. I know that I've been touched by it, and my guides have touched me and said, what if it were you? And Keith, and I think, yes, what if it was? And I have to think about myself now, only about myself. I don't have any family left. And so I am more aware. And I think the older we get, the more aware we become of people. It's oftentimes when you lose everything, it isn't your fault. So let's do a reading on this, and we'll think of ideas as we go along. I've shuffled the cards, and then I go down a few cards to the back, and I take the top card, so they get double shuffled. This one is a wonderful card to get, and it shows happy times when everything was happy. You notice the sun is shining. The little boy is on the horse and he's smiling. There's flowers back behind the little boy. The sun is growing. There's a flag and it's blowing in the breeze. And that's the perfect life. Not all of us have that, and we may have it right now, and we may stand a chance of losing it, which I hope none of us do, but I am concerned. The next one is the Ace of Pentacles, and that means a new beginning. And yes, it's going to be a new beginning, folks. We're going to be going through things that maybe we've not ever gone through before. Now, our ancestors might have. I know my parents were raised during the Depression, and it affected them all of their lives. And I think that it's going to be very similar to that, folks. And we're going to have to work together. My grandmother went through that, and she was her husband had passed away, and she was raising 7 kids, and even nieces and nephews were sent to her to raise. And she made it through. Was a wonderful woman. She's Choctaw Indian. I do have Cherokee Indian too. That is one of my guides, or 2 of my guides. The next is the Fool, and this is you're innocent and you haven't experienced a lot, and we're fixing to experience it. So you can't be this innocent person that just goes along whistling things. We've got to think of other people and of how to get more money and food. And I'm afraid the government's not going to be here doling out checks to us, folks. It would be nice if they could afford to. Next one is the Hermit. And the Hermit is holding up you have to search your mind and your heart. And the Hermit spends a lot of time by himself. And he has a lantern, and he's holding it up to help him see his way. And you may have to do this with yourself. You may not be touched. You may have a hard heart for people who don't have anything right now. And you may have to change that. And hopefully you will change for the better. I hope we all change for the better. But I hope we don't have it so rough we can't take it. The next one is Knight of the Wand. And the wand was for practical people. That's not wealthy people. If you had a sword, that meant that you were from wealth. And so this is from the practical person, the everyday person that doesn't have everything made and everything given to them. The next card is one that the Devil, and it's not a happy card. The Devil, I don't see that as an evil card. I see it as somebody that causes you, just kind of sits around and tortures you. With disbelief. Maybe it makes you judgmental of people that don't have things. Notice that the chains are on this man and this woman, but they're loose, and you can get away from him. So this does play a part. We see selfishness, and there's times that I have been selfish, and boy, I've had to calm myself down and get with the program and say everything, whatever's happened to that person, there's a reason, and usually it's not always their fault. Next is Temperance, and the Temperance card tells us not to overdo anything. Don't overspend. Don't have a house too big for you. Don't have a car too big that costs too much to run. In other words, try to get through this and get through it with practical means. There's a man on YouTube, and I can tell he has quite a bit of money, and yet he has a 10 or 15-year-old car that he drives, and he says, I drive it, and I'm going to drive it from now on because I'm trying to save money and try to make it through this. And he is like I am. We are of like minds. He agrees that this is going to get rough, folks. I wish it weren't. The next one is a Page, and it's a Cups. Now this is, you're going to have to find a sense of humor in life. And he's holding a cup, but notice there's a fish in it. In other words, he has a sense of humor. The Cups is emotion, and we're going to have to get through this best we can. And I know that I've recently come in contact with people that have such excellent hearts, good hearts, and And you know, after I talk to them and see the way they believe, I want that quality. And I want that quality that they care more about human life than they do about a fancy car or trying to run a race to see who can have the most or take the most trips. Uh, let's flip the card over. Oh, this one is a broken heart, and it breaks my heart to see people that are homeless, and they will do videos of them, and they'll say, "Oh, this area just smells so terrible." Well, of course it does, because these people don't have restrooms. It isn't a pretty sight, folks, but most of them don't have enough clothes. They don't have bathrooms. They live in a tent, and I just can't imagine how awful it must be to wake up and you're alone in a tent, the wind blowing, and wondering if somebody's going to cut through the tent maybe and steal what few things you do have. What I was told is to think about collecting clothes. Find someone that is capable of, maybe ladies are good at this, boxing up different sizes, like clothes that would help them. These people can't get a job because they don't have nice enough clothes, and I don't mean that they have to have suits and ties. I'm just talking about everyday clothes. And I have clothes in there that I haven't worn in a while, and they're just practical everyday clothes. I have some jeans that are in good shape, and I have some nice shirts and sweatshirts and things that I could help. And I thought, you don't use any of those, and why be selfish with them? Share them. And so that was one thing that, one message that was given to me. Let's take this down and see what else. This card is Queen of Swords. And I told you the Queen is patient, and she thinks about what you need and how to get through. And she cuts through all of the stories we may come up with, like, oh, well, I just couldn't. My kids just wouldn't let me sell this house and get a smaller one. Oh, they love to come here on Thanksgiving. Well, if they come on Thanksgiving and you can't afford a turkey to feed them, I'm not for sure they would want that. So this is going to hit us, folks, and money's not going to go as far. Now, we have one more card to draw, and let's go down and let's see if this one is it. Something told me to go this level, and it is about money. Knight of Pentacles, and you notice that it shows the knight, and his horse is not racing, and he has one coin, and he is telling you to hold on to everything you can now. Don't get out and see how much you can spend. Folks, I hope this has helped you. I hope I'm just getting started in this, and I hope to get better as I go along. I've been in it about 2 weeks. I think I will have, after today, I'll have 22 different videos put up. Some are games that you can play and pick a pile of cards, and then I'll do the reading on them. And some are, I have one that talks about what do the birds know, and there are 4 birds, and they tell the qualities of the bird that you pick. And then I have readings, a few readings that I've been allowed to put on. I don't put your reading on. It's all personal, private. Yours would be just, no one would hear it except the ones that you want to hear it. I hope I've helped you, and I thank you so much for watching this. If you give me a thumbs up and subscribe, well, I would appreciate it, because I'm needing some encouragement right now. And I hope this has helped you, and I hope you'll reconsider the homeless and their needs. And if you have some things that might help them, that you see that they get them. Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate you taking time to watch this. Thank you.